This video is shocking. Caitlin Clark has just made a statement that has all fans on edge after her teammate Sophie Cunningham suffered a season-ending knee injury. You're here for the brutal assault that shocked the basketball world, and this is the untold story the WNBA doesn't want you to see. What started as a routine basketball play quickly turned into something far more sinister, a moment that revealed an ugly side of the league, a side the cameras didn't catch. The reactions were instantaneous, the fans' anger was palpable, and the question now is whether the league will do the right thing. The incident itself was a scene of horror. In a seemingly normal game, in the middle of a play, an opposing player came over to Sophie Cunningham and took her down with a force that seemed completely out of place. It wasn't a casual contact or an accident, it was a violent collision that made her knee bend in a way that no one should ever have to see. Sophie collapsed on the floor, clutching her leg, and the pain on her face was evident. To those watching, it was obvious that something was very, very wrong. The game stopped, the players stopped playing, and the crowd's silence was deafening. A silence that, in itself, said it all, and right in the middle of that silence, a voice rose above the rest. A cry of anguish and fury that came from none other than Caitlin Clark. As coaches and the medical staff rushed to Sophie's side, Clark was the one who, according to reports, made the first and most devastating declaration. She allegedly yelled that Sophie's knee was broken, a statement that instantly spread throughout the basketball world. Her anger was visible, a fury that was completely understandable. She had seen what no one else had seen, the brutality and violence of a play that went beyond basketball, a truth that left her shaking. And her public statement wasn't just about the knee, it was a war cry, but the story didn't begin in that game. There is an alleged tension that has been building behind the scenes for weeks, a silent rivalry between the two teams that was waiting for the right moment to explode. Sources close to both franchises suggest that the game wasn't just about winning, but about sending a message that became dangerously literal. The opposing team was allegedly frustrated with the Fever's recent rise and the amount of attention they were getting, and that frustration had reportedly manifested as violence on the court. What happened to Sophie wasn't an accident, but a climax of animosity that had been simmering under the surface for some time. The reaction on social media was a frenzy, a true pandemonium of anger and disbelief. Fans were demanding punishment for the aggressor, and the video of Sophie's injury went viral in a matter of minutes, with millions of people watching in horror. But what was even more shocking was the referee's lack of action. No flagrant was called, no technical foul, which was seen as an insult and a sign that the league doesn't take its players' safety seriously. The fans' revolt was directed not only at the aggressor but at the WNBA itself, which seemed to stand idly by while one of its stars was lying on the floor in pain. And the questions were flying. Caitlin Clark's reaction was what truly lit the fire. While most players remained silent or gave carefully prepared statements, Clark reportedly expressed her anger in a way the WNBA and fans had never seen. She allegedly openly accused the aggressive player of a brutal assault, a statement that transformed the incident from an injury into a criminal act. Her passionate defense of her teammate wasn't just about basketball, it was about honor and integrity. And Clark's words carried weight. She isn't just a player. She's the voice of the league, and her statement was a call to action, a challenge to the WNBA to protect its players. But the question remains, why? Why Sophie Cunningham? What motivated the aggressor to target her with such intensity? Rumors suggest that the attack was calculated. Sources close to the league allege that there was a belief that Sophie was a player who wouldn't fight back, that she was an easy target who could be intimidated without consequences. But they were reportedly terribly wrong. What they didn't know is that Sophie is the personification of resilience, and their attack on her was not an attack on a player but an attack on the team's morale. And this miscalculation could have devastating consequences, not just for the aggressive player, but for the league as a whole. The WNBA, of course, is in a state of panic. With the league already under fire for its physicality, this incident is the last thing they needed. Sources from within the league office allege that executives are scrambling to find a solution, afraid that this incident could drive away not only fans but also sponsors. The question now is how they will deal with it. Will they suspend the aggressor? Will they fine them? Or will they simply pretend nothing happened, as many fans fear? Their decision will have a direct impact on the future of the league, showing whether they truly care about their players' safety or if they are more concerned with profit and public image. The consequences for the team are serious. Sophie Cunningham's injury is a hard blow to the Indiana Fever, who have already faced numerous challenges. The team depends on her game, her toughness, her defense, and her presence. And now, she is no longer there. Her absence leaves a big void on the court, and the question now is who will fill it. Will Caitlin Clark be able to take over her role? Will the team come together in her absence, or will it fall apart? The team is at a crossroads, and the next few weeks will determine whether they can recover or if this injury will be the final nail in the coffin of their season. Sources from within the league allege that there are rumors that this incident was just the beginning, that the aggressor was being encouraged by their team or by other players to intimidate the Fever. The on-court violence, according to these rumors, was not an isolated act of anger but part of a game strategy. And that is what is truly frightening. If these rumors are true, it means that the physicality in the WNBA is not just about the heat of the moment, but it's about a culture of aggression, of intimidation, and of disrespect. This raises serious questions about the nature of the sport, and the WNBA needs to act quickly to show that this will not be tolerated. There was a truth about the aggressor's history that no one wanted to admit. Throughout their career, there has been a pattern of aggressive play, of hard fouls, of shoves and elbows that were always seen as just part of the game. But after what happened to Sophie, these incidents no longer look like isolated accidents but part of a dangerous and recurring behavior. The player has a history of physical play, and the WNBA always turned a blind eye, as their game was considered tough, strong. But now, after an injury that could end the season, the brutal truth has been exposed, and the blame falls not only on the aggressor but on the WNBA itself, which allowed this behavior to continue. The reaction of Sophie's family was one of the most moving moments of the entire saga. In an emotional post on social media, Sophie's brother allegedly exposed what he considered to be the cowardice and malice on the part of the aggressor. He allegedly demanded that the WNBA take action and that the aggressor be suspended for the entire season, to show that this kind of behavior has no place in the sport. His post, full of anger and pain, echoed the frustration of millions of fans, who felt that the WNBA did not care about the safety of its players. It was a cry of pain, a clamor for justice, and a challenge to the league to show that they care about their player. The most shocking thing, however, is the alleged betrayal. Sources close to Sophie Cunningham revealed that she and the aggressor had been best friends, a friendship that went back to college. They had allegedly played on the same team and had a long-standing relationship that was the envy of many. And now, that friendship had allegedly been betrayed, destroyed by a single act of violence on the court. Sophie's injury wasn't just about basketball, it was about the loss of a friendship, a betrayal that was even more painful than the physical injury. This is the truth that was hidden from the public, a secret that few people knew. Caitlin Clark's public appeal after the incident was the icing on the cake. While the media and fans debated, Clark allegedly took a stand and addressed the league directly. She reportedly said that the WNBA has a responsibility to protect its players, that violence and physicality are not part of the game, and that the league must act to ensure that incidents like Sophie's never happen again. Her statement, full of emotion and conviction, was a defining moment, a challenge to the league to show that they have the courage to do the right thing. Clark's words were not just about basketball, they were about humanity, and what happens now. The question everyone is asking is whether the aggressor will be banned from the league. Will the WNBA finally act and take a strong stand against violence? Or will they simply give them a fine, a slap on the wrist, and allow the behavior to continue? The future of women's basketball may depend on their decision. Sophie Cunningham's injury is a defining moment, a test for the league to show that they care about their players' safety. And if the WNBA doesn't pass this test, they may lose not only the fans but also the respect. And that is something they cannot afford to lose. Sophie Cunningham's injury is more than just news, it's an event that shook the foundation of the WNBA and exposed a dark truth about on-court violence. Caitlin Clark's reaction turned a tragic incident into a national debate about safety and ethics in sports. The question now is, who is to blame? The aggressor? The league? Or the fans who demand an increasingly physical and violent game? The future of the WNBA and Sophie Cunningham's fate are in the hands of a single decision, and the world is waiting. And now the question is for you, should the player who caused Sophie's injury be banned from the league? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more news and exclusive stories.